My name's Ed Stanfield, and I'm a Master Chief Aviation Anti-Submarine Warfare Operator. Was there for flying in P-2s for 10 years, up to 1970. At that time, the Naval Air Reserve was reorganized and went on the same basis as the Navy, with full squadron with all their own planes and the same setup. And the three squadrons joined together to become VP-68. VP-68, when it was formed, we went to Naval Air Station Patuxent River. We were there for 15 years. After 15 years, we transferred back to Andrews Air Force Base, where I was for an additional 5 years. In the squadron, in the reserves, it was in the Atlantic, and that was the Russians. At the time, I was in the Pacific, which was in the 50s. It was mostly surface traffic. We didn't do much Soviet traffic, like none at the time. That was all on the East Coast. So in the reserves, we did Soviet tracking the best we could, and that was anywhere from the Azores all the way up to Iceland. And then the Soviets were in the Mediterranean a lot, and we'd track them in through the Straits of Gibraltar. But once you got into the Mediterranean, it was very difficult because there's an awful lot of shipping there. The waters are a lot warmer, and made things just a lot different because of the noise and the temperature of the waters to do tracking. But we did pretty well. Okay, the P3s, we hit a wide range of things. We actually did active duty for training in Bermuda 2 years, and that was great. The Azore Islands, owned by the Portuguese, we probably did our greatest number of years there because it was sort of the southern tip. We were patrolling to the north from there, and that was a great location. Portuguese, great people, good food, very relaxed. They had bullfights there, but they didn't kill the bulls. They just allowed the bulls to chase you in the streets. So, and we had some wounded in action from getting run over from bulls too. That was where they, sort of their carnivals, each town would have a bull run on different weekends. And when we got the Azores, they always warned us not to fight the bulls and not to play on the cliffs, because the cliffs were very crumbly and people would be breaking legs all the time. Portuguese were great. We flew a lot of flights out of Iceland because there's good tracking out of Iceland. They call it the Iceland United Kingdom Gap, where we tracked adversary subs. And then we had some flights down to Ascension Island, which is down in the middle of nowhere off in the South Atlantic. And at that time, I think the Brits were doing their Falkland Islands War at the time, and maybe that's why we went down there. But places in Europe, we did active duty in Rota, Spain a lot, and that was a good place because the Spanish are great people and great liberty, and we could fly all over the Mediterranean from there. From there, we flew some flights to Naples, but we also went to Sigonella, where there was a naval air facility, which was on Sicily, and then we did other R&R trips, London, Germany, just a lot of good trips over in that direction.